Hi, I'm Dr. Matthew Anderson, and I'm here to talk to you today about a very important conversation during this COVID event. The title I've given it is a little bit provocative, but I think it's really, really serious. The title is Will COVID Kill Your Marriage? Second part of it is Here is the Antidote. Now, there's a couple of things that we can be sure about the COVID virus and what it's producing. I'd say almost 100% sure. One is in about 9 or 10 months from today, there's going to be a boom in baby births because people are spending so much time alone together. They're getting intimate, at least physically. The negative thing, the sad thing, even the tragic thing that I can predict, and is being predicted by a lot of people right now, I didn't originate this idea. Every therapist I talk with and every attorney I'm talking to says this is going to produce a lot of divorces because people are major under stress. They are together way more than they're usually together, and they don't have great skills at combining the two and making it work. Most people have lives that give them a give and a take, a distance, a separation, and come back together. Very few people live with their spouse or their lover, their partner, 24 hours a day, as we are, in a sense, not in a sense, we are forced to being that way right now. And it's not going to change from today until tomorrow or the next day or the day after. It could last weeks. And so it's going to take a toll on those people who don't have the skills to meet that kind of crisis and relieve the stress between the two of you, the person that is really most important in the world to you. Now, I'm saying this to every couple I work with, and I've been working with couples for a very, very long time. You don't have to go into divorce mode during this crisis. And here are a few things that you can pay attention to. I'm going to give you some very specific things that you can pay attention to and do that will make a very significant difference. And it's possible that if you do the very simple things that I'm going to share with you in just a moment with your partner on a regular basis, not only will you survive this experience without getting divorced, you may actually come out of it with your relationship being even better than it was before we went into it. Now, that's my goal. My goal is to offer you something that's real, that actually works, that actually produces results. And you have to practice it. You've got to do your part. But if you do your part, both of you, from a good place, a good intention, you could come out of this event better in terms of your relationship than you were when you went in. So what am I talking about? Well, one thing is to remember why you got together. Why did you come together? For most of you who are in a relationship with someone you're married to or you're living with, you call them your lover, your partner, you got together because you love each other. You got together because you were in love. Now, maybe that was last year, maybe it was 5 years ago, maybe it was 25 years ago. Doesn't matter to me. You came together because you were in love. And that love pulled you towards your partner in a very special way. And you said to yourself, and probably also to them, I want to live with you. I'm crazy about you. I want to live with you. You're really special to me. I want to live the rest of my life with you. You're that special to me, and I feel that good when I'm with you. Then life happened. You got involved in all that other stuff that you've been involved in. For some of you, you had kids, you had families, you had work, whatever. Stuff became in the way, and the relationship was not as great as it was in the beginning. And then this crap happened, this COVID thing, this thing that changed all of our lifestyles rather drastically in just a few weeks. Now we're hiding out from life, in a sense, together with just a few people, most of us. And in many cases, just with our partner or our partner and some kids or one or two family members. So those are the people that we're seeing almost every day. And something is happening to erode that connection. And we're getting tense because we're frightened, we're suffering, we're worried about money, we're losing money, we're not working as much as we want to. We don't know what's going to happen, we don't know how long it's going to take, and we don't even know if we're going to get sick. And if you listen to the news more than 5 minutes a day, you also know you could get sick and you could die. Probably not, but there's a chance. That creates a lot of stress. And if you're not careful, if you're not attentive, if you don't have and practice certain skills, you're going to take that tension out on the person that has been the most important person in the world to you. Your partner, your lover, your wife, your husband. And it's going to take a price for that. There's going to be a cost to it. It's going to harm your relationship. It's going to pull you apart. If you allow that stress to make this happen between the two of you, to start conflict, to start this kind of connection instead of that kind of connection. Now, you're at some level of that already. I'm certain of it. So here's the suggestions, very specific ones I'm going to give you as quickly as I can. You can play this back and listen to them if you want. And also at the end, I'll tell you how I can send you some other things that will help you that are related to what I'm going to talk about. This works. Number one is your attitude. Remember the reasons you got together. Remember that connection. Sit down for a moment. Close your eyes, bring your partner to mind, and look in your heart and see if you can recall the specialness of that connection. How important it was to you, how it affected your heart, how it affected your life, how you wanted to be with that person. Remember, and here's the important word, remember the preciousness of the connection. Remember how precious that relationship was. Remember how precious your partner was to you. These two things, the preciousness of the relationship and the preciousness of the partner, are crucial to your survival and possibly even to your ability to thrive in your relationship in this. That person was incredibly precious to you. Remember that. And then bring that to the present. Look at your partner. In Yiddish, they have a really neat word. Because I'm from South Carolina, I don't always pronounce it exactly right, but it's called kfelling. Kfelling. It means to look at someone you really care about or love, not necessarily when they're looking at you, but you just observe them, and as you look at them, your heart fills up with wonder and love for that person. I want you to take that word preciousness and look for that kind of kfelling feeling. Look for it. You can reclaim that in your relationship. Now, related to that is what I would call positives and affirmations. Now, this next little exercise might seem a little hokey to some of you, and if it does seem hokey to you, then you need to do it in spades because it is really, really important. Get yourself a 3x5 card. I've got one right here. Looks a lot like that. Okay? Get a 3x5 card. Sit down and think about your partner's positive characteristics and see how many you can write down. Write down any characteristic, anything about your partner that you think is positive. Now, it could be something that is sort of on the surface. You might say, he or she has beautiful eyes. Or you might say, my partner is a good dresser. That counts. But also look for the other things, such as he or she has patience. He or she is compassionate, is a good listener, is a hard worker, takes care of the kids, is really good to our neighbors. I don't care what it is. If it's positive, it pops up in your mind, write it down. Now, I have probably one of the best relationships that's ever existed on this planet. I didn't get there easily. I had to go through other relationships to get there, but I finally got it right with someone who gets it right with me. And a number of years ago, I did that exercise. I took the 3x5 card, and in just a couple of minutes, I wrote on that card 50 different positive characteristics that I see in her. And I took that card and I put it in my wallet. It is there today. If I went in the other room and picked up my wallet, I could show it to you. It's right there. I don't really have to look at it anymore because I can see all of those characteristics in her. But the issue is, number one, I wrote them down and acknowledged them, and I'm going to ask you to go for 50. Now, if you want to survive, you got to have at least 25, but if you want to thrive, look for 50 or more. I could add to it today. I'd probably get 75, maybe even 100. Go for 50. Write them down. And once you've got them written down, show the list to your partner and tell that person about them. And get in the habit. This is the second part of this exercise. Get in the habit of telling your partner the positive things you notice about them every single day, especially during the crisis. Now, there's been a lot of research done about couples over the last 50 years, and one of the really substantial and important pieces of research showed that couples who've been married 5 years, 15 years, 25 or 30 years, and say they are still really, really happy together, all have one particular characteristic, habit, that they do in their relationship. All of them. And that is their relationship between positive communication and negative communication is at least 20 to 1. What does that mean? It means they say 20 positive things to each other for every one negative thing that gets communicated. And I believe that number is probably even greater than that, but it's at least 20 to 1. 20 positives to 1 negative. Apply that in your relationship. You get up in the morning, say something positive to your partner. Say, I'm grateful for you because. Don't just say I'm grateful. Take a risk. Expand your possibilities. Now listen, don't even think to say to me, oh, Dr. Matthew, I wasn't raised like that. People didn't. I wasn't either. But I'll tell you one thing, I've gotten really, really good at it. And it has an enormously positive effect on my relationship, but also every time I tell her something positive about her, I re-experience it. So it fills my heart with that good feeling of love towards her. She does the same with me. Actually, I think she's even better at it than I am. But I'm working hard at catching up. That's what I'm trying to do. So think of the positive things about your partner. Write them down on a piece of paper. Best is a card because you can carry it around with you. And share it every day, some piece of it. I'm telling you, in 2 or 3 days, you will establish a different feeling about that person and a different part of the relationship. Now, the third thing is related to that, and that is, remember, especially during this crisis when we are so tense, we're so anxious, we're so concerned about what's happening to us and the people that we love, words matter. Words matter. It is no accident that the Jewish theological tradition, the Christian theological tradition, and the Islamic all agree that in the beginning, God spoke to create all that exists. Now, whether you believe that literally or symbolically or whatever, I'm not going to argue that for you right now. What I'm saying to you is they all have words coming from a divine source. All words in all those three scriptures also is the statement that we are created in the image of God. Now, what that means at least, is that our ability to speak has power in it. The words that I say to you matter to you. And if I'm the most important person in your world and I say, honey, I think you're great. Honey, I think you're a wonderful person. Honey, I think you're really special. Honey, I love what you did with that. Honey, I am so grateful you're in my life. That kind of word creates something between the two of you that has divine power. It absolutely does. Now, you can throw away words all day long with your spouse, and because you're together all the time and you take that person for granted and you throw out crap to that person, that is what you're going to get back. If you're not responsible for your language with your partner, you're going to pay for it. You might even end up paying a lawyer for it. And I don't want you to go that way. I want you to listen to what I'm saying and think to yourself, everything I say to my partner today matters. Every single word and the tone that comes out of my mouth matters also. The tone and the word both have enormous power. You put that into your communication today and tomorrow and the next day in this crazy stuff we're going through, you're going to start to have a much better relationship. Treat that person as precious. Your relationship is precious. Communicate the positives. And pay attention to every word that comes out of your mouth. You're going to be amazed at what happens to the two of you. Now, I have two other suggestions. You can email me if you want the first one. I'll look on my phone here and make sure I get the right name of it. I have a list of questions that will guide you with your partner that you can share back and forth, that are really positive, that are really special, and if you sit down 15 minutes a day and do it with your partner, you will find that it really makes a difference. I call it Sustaining and Growing Romantic Love, Radical Intimacy Exercises and Attitudes. I know that's a lot of information, but all you got to do is email me and say, Matthew, I want the list about relationship. Okay? Matthew, I want the list about relationship, and I will send it to you by email. dra@dracoach.com. Dr. A at dracoach.com. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and I haven't done this in any of my videos so far, but I'm going to do a bit of an ad. You see this book? You can go on Amazon and get my book. It's called The Resurrection of Romance: How to Create and Sustain a World-Class Romantic Relationship That Lasts a Lifetime. I am not kidding. The stuff I told you already today is in this book. The chapters are very small. You can sit down and read together chapters with your partner. God forbid you should do something that powerful, but you can do it. You can go to Amazon.com and get the book. It's called The Resurrection of Romance. Okay, so you got a bunch of stuff to do. Email me and let me know if you're doing it. I'll send you the list. You can go to Amazon to get the book. Treat your relationship as if it is precious. It is, and you are. God bless you.